Hey there, how you doing? Now, some of you may be wondering where I've been.
In your mother?
Come on, man, that's not cool.
Now, I may have went on a Helldivers bender a little bit. Hell, I even went to Lexington Comic Con and picked up my own AR-23 Liberator. See? That's my foot. Anyways, I love Helldivers. Completely out of left field, but I also love Resident Evil. So I want to ask the question, could the Helldivers survive the Raccoon City outbreak? Yes, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. Now, if we just dropped Super Earth's Elite smack dab in the middle of the outbreak, and all they had to do was escape, I am confident they could do so quite easily. So we're going to go with a bit of a detour and say the answer is maybe. Which means I want to push the Raccoon City outbreak to its absolute oh shit level. By that I mean somewhere around the level of the outbreak we see in the game Operation Raccoon City. So I'm talking hordes of zombies, feral zombies, crimson heads, liquor hordes, swarms of hunters, multiple tyrants. I'm also going to be taking the Helldivers through encounters with several other BOWs from Resident Evil 2, 3, Outbreaks File 1 and 2, the remakes, and a few other BOWs. Essentially, if they appeared in Raccoon City, the Helldivers will most likely run into them. Alright, so let's lay out how this is going to go, as well as some ground rules. The Helldivers have traveled through the Meridian Singularity and somehow have ended up at Earth in the year 1998. Command sees a city undergoing some kind of turmoil, and assumes that the Illuminate must have somehow began an invasion of Super Earth. With comms outside of the Super Destroyer down, Command takes it upon themselves to launch an operation into the city to discover what's going on and recover any and all evidence that could lead to uncovering the truth. Our Helldivers are sent into the heart of Raccoon City and must work their way through several key locations and complete certain objectives before extraction is available. Now here are the rules. Our Helldivers will have a max reinforcement budget of 24. So when one Helldiver goes, they will be immediately replaced. If reinforcements run out completely, then the operation is considered a failure.
Yeah, that's what I would have did.
The Helldivers will have full access to the Super Destroyer's arsenal, including all stratagems, with a few caveats. Helldivers can call in one stratagem exactly one time. So for example, if the Helldivers call in a 500 kg to take out one Cerberus, they can, but then they will no longer have access to that stratagem for the rest of the operation. Orbital and Eagle stratagems are available within reason. So for example, the Helldivers can call in a support weapon while inside a building, because the Hell Pod will just crash through the roof. But if they call in an Eagle strike, it won't have any effect on the enemies within said building. Lastly, all stratagems will be disabled when the Helldivers enter underground areas, such as the sewers, the nest, etc. So they'll be entering only with their primary, secondary, and special weapons. Okay, so TLDR, Helldivers get in, complete objectives. No more reinforcements equals they lose. Stratagems are used within reason. Jesus Christ. Take a drink every time I say the word Helldivers. I guarantee you will be passed out drunk before the end of this. But hey, maybe autoplay will keep you on my channel so I can get those sleeper views. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's finally jump into this. So let's start off by throwing our merry band of Helldivers right in the middle of Raccoon City, just outside the Raccoon City Hospital. As soon as they make landfall, they are immediately surrounded by zombies due to their not-so-subtle entrance. However, due to their prior experience with the Voteless, these are a little challenge considering that the Helldivers' aim is always on point. The Helldivers dispatch the oncoming horde and move into the hospital. Command has informed the Helldivers that there is an antiviral sample that needs to be recovered and that it is located within a secret wing of the hospital. They need to get the sample and move on to their next objective. Our heroic squad of Helldivers begin to move throughout the hospital, clearing each room with perfect efficiency. From these voteless, I mean infected, until they reach the secret wing containing the antivirus sample. But just before they enter, a series of clacking noises rushes from the hallway behind them. From the darkness, 4 hunter betas emerge. Hunter betas are heavily armored with thick keratin plating, and their claws are extremely sharp, especially on their left hands. However, they are extremely weak to fire and electricity. The Helldivers ready to combat these man-made horrors. The hunters rush down the hall through a flurry of bullets which just bounce off their hardened skin. The Helldivers begin to get pressed within the tight corridors of the hospital, barely dodging these creatures' unrelenting attacks. Finally, one Helldiver calls in a flamethrower. The Hellpod slams through the roof just in time to drive one of the hunters through the floor, killing it. The other 3 get torched in a blaze of Liberty-blessed napalm. The hunters flail within the flames before going silent. Silence is not all good, however. Within the commotion, one of our brave Helldivers suffered a fatal slash to the stomach and passed soon after. Our Helldivers mourn the loss of one of Super Earth's finest before calling in their replacement. With that done, they retrieve the sample and make their way out of the hospital as it goes up in flames. As they work their way into the cluttered streets of Raccoon City, they are informed that within a nearby power station are creatures that resemble the villainous Terminids. Command is unsure as to how the alien menace is on this world, but believe it could be the start of another Terminid colony. The Helldivers are to get in and destroy any and all bugs within the area. Our brave Helldivers move in between the alleys and streets toward the power station, but as they begin to enter an alley, they are cornered once again by the undead. The divers begin popping off their heads one by one until something strange begins to happen. Some of the undead are falling only after a few body shots. This hasn't been the case thus far, and their attention is drawn away from this as more undead begin to pour into the street from the buildings around them. As they pick them off, the undead that had fallen suddenly shoot back up. Their skin has now turned a dark, hellish red, and they begin to sprint toward our divers. Their movements are erratic as they weave through the horde towards the divers. Soon, they're right on top of them. They grapple with our divers, sinking their teeth and claws into their armor. But our Helldivers are experts in CQC and fend off these crazed zombies.
Daddy!
You faggot!
The divers retreat into a nearby alley and fire down on the pursuing horde, dropping crimson heads and regular zombies alike. A diver throws out a stratagem, and the squad positions themselves behind it as a Hellpod crashes into the ground and deploys a Gatling turret. The turret's barrels begin to spin and mows down the entire horde in a mere moment, as their assailants are then reduced to a pile of bodies. The Helldivers move on to the power station, suffering 0 casualties from the attack. As they move into the power station, the Helldivers notice strange, sticky formations all over the fences and walls. They move deeper still, and that's when they encounter the first Drain Deimos. These disgusting insect-like BOWs may be easy to kill, taking only a few shots from a handgun to put down. However, they can move on almost any surface, and they tend to work in groups to capture their prey and turn them into adult film actors. The Helldivers waste no time in putting down this first one on sight, because
The only good bug is a dead bug.
they didn't discover that the Drain Deimos nest is at the center of the power station. The Helldivers used their superior intellect and top-notch cunning to conduct a plan so brilliant it'd make the Ministry of Science blush.
Requesting orbital strike.
With the nest destroyed, the divers move on. The Helldivers then hear gunshots nearby. That can only mean 2 things: innocent Super Earth citizens in need of help, or target practice. They then move through the streets, arriving in front of a small store called Kendo's that is being swarmed by the undead. They begin pouring into the shop through the storefront windows. Amid the moans of the undead are the horrific screams of a man. The Helldivers light up the undead from behind, wiping them all out. They quickly move into the store, only to find the half-eaten corpse of a large, portly man.
This is so sad.
Free bowgun, though. Suddenly, more undead begin to crowd from behind them, seemingly drawn from the gunfire. Some of them, however, appear to have strange, bulbous growths attached to their heads, and thin tentacles at the top of said growths that whip the air around them. These are zombies controlled by the NE alpha parasites. These creatures are harder to put down than your average zombie, and can whip their targets and even grab them so they can detach from their zombified bodies to a fresh new host. The Helldivers are caught off guard by the sudden appearance of these creatures, and one of our divers is pulled into the horde by a set of these tentacles. Their screams echo out as the remaining divers fire upon these wretched horrors until they stop. Their former compatriot emerges from the horde as a host of the NE Alpha parasite. The divers are horrified. If that diver couldn't resist the controlling influence of these things, what hope did they have? A ray of hope shines upon our divers as they call in a stalwart. The diver grabs a machine gun and mows down their former ally as well as the rest of the oncoming horde. The divers reinforce, resupply, and await further orders, as they do what only incredibly intelligent individuals do in their downtime. They're contacted by command and informed that there's some odd happenings over at the nearby clock tower. They're unaware as to what, but they are sure something weird is happening. The Helldivers are to investigate and make sure nothing generally spooky is going on.
That's not very scary. Oh God!
The divers decide the quickest way to get to the clock tower is via the nearby trolley, which has seemingly been recently repaired, but unused for some reason. Regardless, the Helldivers hop aboard the trolley and begin towards the clock tower. As they get closer, they realize that the trolley doesn't lead them directly to the clock tower, so the Helldivers decide to lob several grenades in front of the trolley to blast it off the tracks, which successfully launches their transport through the wall of the courtyard of the clock tower. Our divers emerge from the controlled wreckage unscathed, only to be surrounded by a pack of zombie dogs. 5 to be exact. The Helldivers are appalled and saddened by the sight of these poor creatures, but they take aim without hesitation. The dogs rush down the squad, all at incredible speed. However, the divers' aim and stopping power is too much for man's best friend, and they put them down for good. The divers then move inside the clock tower. The room is quiet. Too quiet. Just then, from behind one of the divers, a giant fucking spider scoops one of our divers up and drives its massive fangs into their torso. Our divers gun down the creature before it can make off with its prey. The divers attempt to save the wounded soldier, but they have 2 baseball-sized holes in their abdomen. It's kind of fair to say a stem ain't patching that up. The diver, near death, begins to panic as they point just behind the squad before they pass out from the shock. The rest of the squad, and now +1 reinforcement, look to the stairs behind them as a swarm of giant fucking spiders flood into the room from the stairway. Our Helldivers spray these 8-legged freaks with bullets, but as these horrors are put down, countless smaller spiders emerge from their parents' broken bodies. Our divers are swarmed head to toe in these mutated spiders, and 2 more of our divers die due to massive amounts of venom and T-virus and probably AIDS flooding their bodies. One diver decides the only way to solve this problem is to burn the fuckers. So they call on a deployment of incendiary mines, which the pod crashes through the roof and then covers the room with mines. The mines go off and trigger a chain reaction that sets the entire room on fire. Our remaining divers escape through the door and block the entrance as they hear the spiders burn. Command asks what happened, and the reinforced divers replied with something generally spooky. As they recover from the harrowing ordeal, a coarse voice cuts through the air.
Stars.
Atop the crashed trolley stands the TO-2, codename Nemesis. A hulking humanoid BOW equipped with an 8-round rocket launcher. The Nemesis stares down our divers as command calls in relaying that this creature is an extremely dangerous target and it must be destroyed. The divers begin the engagement as they spread out and begin firing on the BOW. Nemesis eats the rounds like candy and takes aim at one of the divers. Our diver dives out of the way just in time to dodge the rocket and stands up triumphantly, only to get blasted by the second rocket. The divers form up as their reinforcement drops in behind them, and they begin lobbing grenades at the monster. Each explosion stuns the beast, and soon it's lost inside a cloud of smoke and dust. The divers cease their assault as silence takes the courtyard. A rocket flies free from the smoke and annihilates 2 more of our divers. The remaining divers are blasted away and look up to see the monster emerging from the smoke. Its black jacket burned off, revealing several tentacles unsheathing themselves from its chest. Divers stand and take aim as their 2 reinforcements land to surround the Nemesis. The mutant tyrant takes aim with its launcher once again, only this time a diver makes a split decision to dive into the Nemesis, throwing it off balance slightly, causing the rocket to miss its target. The Nemesis then whips out a big, throbbing tentacle from its hand.
Holy fuck, is this wrong? But holy hell, is it?
And grabs the diver by the neck, pulling them into its grasp. The rest of the squad pauses, not wanting to injure their teammate. The diver is at the tyrant's mercy. The Nemesis aims his rocket launcher point blank at the diver and...
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig, aren't you interrupting the story at the most suspenseful part? Well, the answer is yes, Sally. Yes, I am. Keep those cards and letters coming.
The diver suddenly unholsters her pistol and fires directly into the barrel of the launcher. An explosion envelops both of them, and the Nemesis falls to its knees, the side of its face suffering a smoldering burn. All that's left of the diver is their cape, which comes to rest on top of the hedge just in front of the monster. The divers take this chance to call in a grenade launcher. One of the divers takes the weapon and blasts the wounded tyrant. The Nemesis falls backwards from the blast, and a pool of purple-red blood begins to pool around the tyrant. The divers call in their reinforcements and stand amidst the carnage, with a cold wind accompanies a chorus of moans. What manner of horror will face our divers next? Will our divers survive to see another episode? Will I ever actually upload this video? Find out next time on the next episode of Diver Ball Z. Okay, but for real, I'm sorry I have to cut this up, but if I'm ever actually going to get this video out, I need to stop it here. But I will make a part 2. Because I can't just end it. I just can't end it there now, can I? But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. You know, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and go kick a cat or something. I don't know.